All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to First Read Fantasy. Today we're coming at you with, yes, a best ball draft. That's what we do here. We got more content coming, but today we're doing another best ball draft. We're going to be doing the puppy but super flex draft that's over on Underdog Fantasy. So they only have 20-second clocks available. It's either that or 8 hours. That would be a rather long show, so we're not going to do the 8-hour clock, but we're going to do 20 seconds. So if you're here watching, or if you do join in the next few moments, you can jump in and hang out with us. So with all that being said, my name is Michael Hoff. You can follow me on X at the FF Realist. I'm joined by Ernie. He is known as Fantasy Football Anonymous, even though I feel like I kind of lift the veil on that when I say your name. But
I am no longer anonymous. You have
I
lifted the
know
veil.
I fucked it all up. He can be followed at Fantasy Anon with a Y at the end. That's easier for me to say right now, so that's what I'm going with. But
There you go, bro.
how's it going tonight?
Dude, it's going good, man. Yankees and Mets just both started. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a Yankees fan, but see, I'm not one of the New York hater fans. I actually root for the Mets. I like to see them do good, except when they play the Yankees, then I want to see them get the absolute shit kicked out of them. But
Sure, sure.
my grandpa used to be a Mets fan, so I have a soft spot for them. But yeah, man, they're both doing good. Well, nah. They could be playing better. They both fizzled off a little bit, but I like both of them tonight. Got a little parlay in, got a little New York parlay, Yankees Mets. So they're both probably going to get smoked, but on paper, I like the matchup. So
Hey,
other
listen.
than that, I'm ready to do a little baseball, a little best ball on a Friday night. Come on, man.
All I
Can't,
know is the Mets had a terrible week and they're still in first place. That's all I know.
yeah,
That's all I know.
same
That's
same
it.
with the Yankees, man. But
What
there,
can I get?
that was a brutal stretch. You know, it's funny. Like the Mets and the Yankees are so in sync with each other.
Yep.
Like they both have a losing streak at the same time. Wild.
I will tell you during this draft, we're going to give you some of our thoughts, some of our insights here as to why we're making some of the picks we're making. But yeah, so I'm going to pull up the draft now. Are you ready, sir, to join?
Yes, sir. Hoff, hit me with a countdown, brother.
All right, on three. One, two, three.
Four more to start.
Three more for me now.
Now I
So
got three more too.
there you go. All right, so we should be started with that shortly. That should be a good time. I'm going to
Where are you hoping to slide in here, Hoff? One or two? Same thing.
kind of, yeah. I had that draft earlier today, I told you, and I actually got the 4 spot there. I ended up taking Jaden Daniels. When it came back to me, I took Brock Purdy.
Ooh,
That was the first time in a while where I've taken quarterbacks with my first and second round picks.
must have felt
Uh,
nice.
yeah, it felt weird. It felt different. Team came out okay. So
I mean, Purdy. Daniels at fours. That's nice, man. That's
I
great
was
value.
well, what happened was the team who, I mean, it's obvious it goes Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Then after that, the third team picks between Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow.
Or
This
Hurts.
particular
Did he
time,
did he
they
go Hurts?
nope, no, they went Joe Burrow. So
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
they went Joe Burrow, so I took Daniels, and then I believe the next team, I'm pretty sure, obviously took Jalen Hurts at that point. So there you go. Two more to start this point. Where are you looking to draft? Since you asked me, what's
So
your what are you feeling
yeah,
right now? I know we do these drafts like we're popping chiclets, but
yeah, yeah. No, usually, man, like it's funny just because like draft strategies could change so much when compared to regular best ball and super flex.
right,
Normal best ball right now, I like to be at like the back half because I
sure,
feel like there's good value this year. There's a lot of players like you could argue, like you and Pete have been arguing lately, like CMC, could be an elite RB again, maybe a top three running back, and you could get him at the end of the first round. And then it's like I think the same thing with Nico Collins.
yes, you are
Um,
high on that boy.
Oh yeah, dude. He's a monster. But
Draft starting soon, by the way. So you go.
absolutely. No, dude, but this the one thing I would say it's corny, but I like picking like
Ooh,
first or second
I got
because you
the
get one of the hero quarterbacks.
well, I got the 101. So I'm gonna kick this thing off. And where are you on here? Are you here? Where
I
are you?
am 1-8. I don't particularly love
Oh,
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. I'm pretty happy at the 101. I'm going Josh Allen. I'll tell you that right meow. Starting in about 30 seconds with this draft. Should be good. I will tell you this weekend we'll have a video coming out. I'm going to give you 3 fantasy football picks that I am avoiding. That's going to be more so obviously for redraft. I'm going to have some more betting content coming out there. Currently in the archive, I've got 5 prop bets. Well, I'm sorry, 5 future bets you should make for the quarterback position. And then I also am going to do for running back, wide receiver, and I'll sprinkle in some tight end as well. So there's more on the way. So there you go. I will say I did a Justin Fields over bet that didn't involve rushing yards. So there you go. If you want to tune in. I just made the first pick, 101 overall. Shocking, I know. I went with Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson goes off the board. Just as we said, this is kind of how it plays out. Bo Nix. What? That's not how it plays out. Never mind.
He just destroyed my whole strategy. That's who I was gonna take.
What
God,
in Mount scenario when I said
bro,
this
this is gonna be the worst draft I've. This is a donation already. I hate this draft.
You
Oh,
didn't even pick it. It's not even to you yet. What do you mean? Jaden
oh, it just
Daniels
kills.
goes off
I
the board.
need Bo Nix there, man. That's a
You weren't gonna
staple.
take Bo Nix at 8. You were gonna take him
I
there at
don't.
8, right there, first round.
Dude, I think he's undervalued.
No,
Like,
that's fine. I'm not. No, that's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing you saying that you were going to take him there.
it's a slight reach. I mean, I value quarterbacks more in
Oof,
Superflex, and
quarterbacks, the whole first round so far, first 6 picks.
I'll take Jamar Chase. Give me Jamar Chase.
Ooh, right in front of you. Nice whiff kick in the nuts. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and then Jamar Chase just before Ernie, as he was saying, let me get Jamar Chase. So he goes Saquon Barkley. We'll see what happens with your second round pick.
Hate it. Hate
yeah,
it.
you're the power of positivity right now, man. How you doing?
I actually should have went Bijan, but that
You
was just
should have,
because
but
I nah, they paid him. He'll be all right. I just was I had a whole strategy set up in my head and it just kind of just got blown up in my face. But I
well,
don't
what was
know
your
if I
strategy? What were you gonna
particularly
do?
I think I was gonna go Bo. I actually might have went Bo Nix there. I really think
I don't know. I call bullshit there still, but okay.
I
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be picked. I actually like Bo Nix. He's pretty high in
no,
my
I wouldn't.
rankings. I
No,
just
you're right. I wouldn't have. I could have got him at 17. I
right.
think he would have been there at 17. I think you're right too.
Yeah.
So who would I have take? No, man, maybe you're right, dude. Maybe I just would have I just saw Chase there, so I got my hopes up.
Well,
But no, I would have been
that's what I'm
between
saying. Like if Chase was there,
Bijan or Barkley, because it's like I think, no Madden curse, as corny as that is. I think that's why everybody's afraid of Saquon. But it's like him and Bijan are gonna explode again this year. So
well, I also think people are a little worried about Saquon because it's about the age, it's about the injuries he's had in the past, and it's about the amount of touches when you combine regular season and playoffs. That's a lot
yeah.
of touches there. So I think people are a little worried about that. Not again, not like Saquon's going to fall off the face of the earth here, but just there might be a little slip. Enough for Bijan to be the guy. If it was Jamar Chase, Saquon, Bijan, and since you keep saying it, Bo Nix there, who would you have taken?
With where?
With that first pick you had.
And all those guys, who's taking again? I'm sorry.
If
I'm
all
like,
4 of those players are available, Bo Nix, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, Bijan.
hold on. I was, I was just panic picking. I didn't even know I was on the clock.
You're having a great draft.
I would take Bijan. I think Bijan's a little safer than Saquon actually this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if Saquon has another monster year. I think he signed a 2-year contract. Like they're gonna run him into the ground, bro. They're in win now mode, so I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, might as well, right? So
that pick was for Anthony, man. Anthony
with the
loved
Dak
Dak,
Prescott,
and yeah, dude. Bro, I do think like Dak is one of the most undervalued fantasy quarterbacks. I'm a
I
Dak
agree with that.
hater. But I
I
think he's a great regular season quarterback, and I think he's a
sure.
great fantasy football quarterback. Like, dude, like you look at his numbers, dude, he puts up monster numbers every year. So, I know for a fact he's gonna let me ask you this. Where do you think he finishes this year? You think he's a top 10 quarterback? I do.
Dak Prescott, I believe he's just outside my top 12. I believe. I have to double check that.
Would you be shocked though then if he finishes top 10 with
Nope.
Lamb and Pickens? You know
No,
what I mean?
no.
I think
I won't be
Pickens,
surprised.
like that's what the thing is like I don't necessarily love Pickens in Dallas now, but
Right.
I think that enhanced Dak's um fantasy value the most.
Let me double
But
check my QB rankings here. I will just tell people, but as I check my QB rankings, I did at the turn there for the second and the third, I did go Nico Collins and Devon Achan. So Josh Allen, Nico Collins, Devon Achan. I debated between Purdy and Achan, but I'll get a second quarterback on the way back. But whatever, that's fine. So feeling okay about that. Let me just double check where I've got. Where do I have Dak right now? Yeah, Dak. Oh, Dak is 11 for me right now. I apologize. So he's 11.
pretty
So
much like where we got
yeah,
him on par
yeah.
for.
I thought I had him just outside, but actually I kind of switched things up there. That back end, if you go like 8 to 13, I've got Bo Nix, Pat Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and then Justin Herbert. So that's how I'm rounding that out from my 8 to 13 range.
Okay.
So Pete saying dig in more on Barkley. Oh, he wants more on Barkley. Is Pete looking for a clip? Is that what he's looking for, or does he want you to?
Well, here's the
What's
thing.
he doing?
I think,
What's Peter want?
the thing with Saquon is people are scared like he's getting older. And I think, again, I'm a Giants fan, so I always thought
Sure.
like the injury prone claim was like a little exaggerated. Like, I feel like Barkley's injuries were more bad
It-
luck. It wasn't like somebody that
yeah,
was really
I would.
injury prone. But dude, I mean, you have one of the best running backs of all time. He's still obviously in his prime. We just watched him last year, right? The analytics tells you that there's a fall off after age 27, but there's some guys that are the exception to that. And that's like you look at Derrick Henry, you look at Saquon Barkley. These guys are just built different, right?
Right.
And I think that you have one of the best running backs of all time behind the best offensive line in the NFL in a team that's trying to win a championship. Like the Eagles are obviously trying to go back to back. So yeah, man. I don't see again. He was kind of on. They gave him that contract last year, the
Right.
3-year deal. But then this year they were like, you know what? Now we're gonna pay you because you won us a Super Bowl, and you deserve this. And they know that Saquon's also a player where it's like if they pay him, he's not going to crash out, if you will. He's
Sure.
not. He's
Sure.
got his payday, and now he's done.
No, no, no. Yeah,
Saquon,
that's
what
not
he's
coming.
chasing. He's chasing greatness. So where it's
Sure.
like I think Bijan, like me and you feel the same on Bijan,
Hmm.
but I think we could easily be overlooking Barkley as just that easy, like he was the obvious RB1 again. Just
Yeah.
because again, talent, offensive scheme, offensive line, like everything just is there, man. The only way he doesn't is like if it's like almost like something like Trey McBride-ish, where it's like he just gets tackled inside the 5 and Hurts steals all the touchdowns, you know. But I don't think that would be the case.
Yeah, I think it was like what was it, like 83% of Jalen Hurts rushing touchdowns came within like I believe like the 10-yard line or something to that effect. I mean, it's again, it's not even a knock or a slight on Saquon. It's just the fact that I like Bijan Robinson more.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where it's at. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was making my two picks there, but yeah, I just think Bijan's going to edge him out. That's all. I don't think Saquon's going to get the same number of touches. I think we can look at not that they're going to preserve him for the playoffs because they don't need to do that. It just wouldn't shock me if he has less touches during the regular season. That's all. I'm like they're not going to come out and say we're giving an effort here to limit his touches. They're not going to announce that. I just think it's just going to organically happen. I think AJ Brown's going to get more targets than what we saw. Remember that during the year? What was that? Like, it was middle part of the season there. Remember when he wasn't getting a lot of targets? Everybody was wondering what was going on there. Did they have to have a little powwow in the locker room, him and Jalen Hurts? But yeah, I just think it's just going to organically happen. He's just going to get a little less touches, and I think Bijan's going to take the RB1 crown. That's it. I could see Saquon finishing as the RB2, which is why, like, you taking Saquon there and Bijan going right after, it's almost interchangeable. By the way, Saquon had more games with 30-plus points at the running back position than anybody else did last year. So he could still finish as the RB2, but still give you X amount of 30-point weeks, in which case helps you in best ball. So,
Yeah,
I'm in there. So
I
it's fine.
agree. I agree with you. Like again, I'm with you on Bijan. Like I wouldn't be shocked if Bijan was one and Barkley was two, or it was, reversed. But the only thing I disagree with you on is the AJ Brown take, because I just think the way the Eagles are built is they're so good. They're just a run first team. And not to sound like a hater, I just don't think Hurts is like the greatest quarterback. I think he's good. I think he could
Sure.
obviously win with the team that they have. I mean, they have the best offensive line in the league. They have two top 10 receivers, but their offensive line is so good. Like, they just run all over everybody. And that's what they did last year. And now they have the defense. That's the scary part. They have the best defense in the NFL right now. So that's why it's funny. You looked at all their stats last year. They're first in everything, passing their 30th. And that's not because Jalen Hurts can't. I don't think he's the greatest passer, but
Passing
he could
percentage on a
pass. They
per
just
game
don't
basis
need
for
to.
low. Yeah.
They don't need to.
Yeah.
I believe that. Damn, this guy took Daniel Jones right in front of me.
All
Come
right.
on.
So go ahead and make your pick, and then since we're obviously doing this draft, let everybody know what your team looks like. You're a little upset now because Daniel Jones was just taken right in front of you, but tell everybody what you got so far.
I actually should have went RJ Harvey there. But I love him and Travion Henderson this year. I'm back and forth on both of them. But so far I got Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford, which sucks now because that's why I'd like to get Daniel Jones. I think he's a little undervalued. I think he's going to follow that trend of Giants players that leaves the Giants and has a better year the second they leave.
Sure.
Not saying the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think very fantasy friendly landing spot. There's a
Yeah.
lot to like about Indianapolis,
No, sure.
but didn't get him. So I'm Dak, Stafford. Those are my 1 and 2 quarterbacks. I got Barkley and Travion Henderson, which I love. I could have went Harvey there, and I probably should have, but I do love Travion Henderson. But right now, if you put a
I
gun to my head, I think Harvey has the better year off the bat.
Yeah,
I do.
I would have gone Harvey personally,
Yep.
but I get it. Matter of fact, I'm up here in 2 picks. I might just snag him right now.
Dude, do it. 100,
As
like
my
easily. And then my receivers, I went Drake London and Rashi Rice. Drake London is one of my like dark horse wide receiver 1 picks. And also, man, like don't sleep on Rashi Rice, man. It's very like him and Nico Collins are very similar in the sense, dude, where it's like if they didn't get hurt this year, again, it's a what if, but again, you have to play out
well,
these
I
what ifs
mean,
sometimes and do some critical thinking. And
before Nico got hurt, he was the wide receiver 2 or
two,
3 over those first
two.
couple weeks. Yeah,
He
yeah,
was a wide receiver too. He might
yeah.
have actually even been 1, but yeah, no, he's
No, he
definitely.
definitely wasn't 1. He was 2 or 3, and that's
Who
in
was
PPR
1?
scoring.
I'm just curious. That
I had to double
first
check that part. I just remember putting some notes together on Nico and talking about prior to the injury, and then when he came back, he was obviously much lower. But yeah, he was 2 or 3. It's probably 2, but yeah. So there you go. I'm gonna read off my team, then I'm gonna get up to go get myself a drink. You can talk about your next pick that you're gonna make. I'll just say my team right now is Josh Allen, Geno Smith, a quarterback, running backs, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, my boy, and then RJ Harvey. Wide receivers, Nico Collins and DJ Moore. Shout out to Coach. I'm going to go get myself a drink. Ernie, you can talk about your pick that you just made and then what you're looking to do next.
Yeah, so I just took my boy Calvin Ridley. I love Cam Ward. I think very quick release, big arm. I do think he's legit. I like his, mentality and approach he takes to the game. He's stepping in one year, year one in Tennessee, and outside of Calvin Ridley, they only have round four rookie wide. I'm sorry, yeah, day three rookie receivers. They drafted a couple wide receivers in the fourth round. They drafted a tight end, and I like Alik Ayumanner, but again, he's a rookie. So Calvin Ridley, 30 years old. He showed last year. He's still got a lot of, you know, um, gas left in the tank. But I think he is just going to get peppered with targets. I think Cam Ward is going to try to show off this first year. I think they play in the AFC South, so a lot of back and forth games, some high scoring games, ugly games. It's going to be favorable game scripts to throw the ball. So I like Calvin Ridley there. Again, he's at that point too where that's the scary part about these older players. It's like, when are they going to fall off? Some of them don't. They last longer. Some of them do, and they just comes out of the blue. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take Ridley there. And this pick, if he makes it, give me if this guy, there's Benny Jet, man. He took Daniel Jones. I want Waddle. I have a good feeling about Waddle this year. I think it's a good buy low. Perfect. All right,
Ah,
yeah.
I wanted to take it so bad because I had a
Just so
sound
my
drop
head could
already.
explode. Yeah, dude, I love Waddle again. The one scary thing about is taking any Dolphin this year is their fantasy value is married to Tua, and we
Yeah,
all know the story on
sure,
Tua.
sure.
And the good news is that even though we're all probably on the same page, where it's like if he gets another concussion, it's probably over. But the
Yeah,
reports and everything, like it's all positive. And Tua, again, he's like the Dolphins are almost like the Cowboys of the AFC. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but good regular season team, great fantasy team. I think the same thing about Tua. I'm a Tua hater, but I think good fantasy quarterback, good regular season
Tua
quarterback.
hater. Why are we a Tua hater? We a Tua hater just because of the concussions, or is there another reason?
No, I actually like, dude, I like him as a person, man. Like, there's
No,
a
I'm
lot
not
of,
saying that. You just said you're a Tua hater. So Mason, what do you hate about him?
yeah, no, as a hater, is in like, I don't think he'll ever lead a team to a Super Bowl.
Okay,
You know
that's
what I
fair.
mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's the same thing with Dak, where it's like I think they're both good quarterbacks. I think they're good fantasy football quarterbacks. I think what they are is like they're gonna have solid numbers in the regular season, which they have displayed. And then what happens? They have good teams, but they go into the playoffs and they lose in the first round most of the time. And they've had
Or
their
they have a
opportunities. Like
terrible
they like
December
Tua,
and just miss out.
Tua's had his opportunity with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, a very good Miami offense, and they went into Kansas City and they got destroyed. And it's the same thing with Dallas. Like they go in there, they get Green Bay, and everybody thinks Dallas is supposed to kill, and they get destroyed. So again, yeah, I'm not putting it all on them because it's never all on the quarterback. I just think that's what they are. But
Hey, listen, quarterbacks. This is what people hate when I talk about. I have this thing, this theory. Ernie, you're new to this, so you might not have heard this before. But the term elite, I don't like to throw that around. So people say Josh Allen's elite. I say he's not because I say give me like playoff wins, give me a Super Bowl. That's what I need everything. I need everything encompassed into one to make you elite. To me, there's only one elite quarterback in the NFL, and he's the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. That's it. And that rubs people the wrong way super hard. CC Pete, if he's watching. Pete hates that more than anything. But
well, there's
and here we
there.
go with this. Allen is elite. Allen is not
Yes,
elite.
yes,
Allen's not elite. And
yes.
now, geez, did Matt just show up in the studio to yell at me
Oh,
about
hold on,
Matt being elite? I'll definitely let him in if I see his face. Right now, I just see a ceiling fan, a light fixture. But
No, Huff,
anyway,
I actually so look, man, like not to, play the middle, but I agree with what you're saying. But then there's also like there
Matt's
there
giving the
there
thumbs
there is
down
the
for the
other side
moment.
where it's like, dude, Josh Allen is elite. Like Josh,
All right.
I like Josh Allen is incredible, man. You know,
He
and
is incredible.
I want to say this. I don't think Bean is the best GM. I don't. I
Sure.
truly don't. Like
Well,
I think last
just
year would have been better to what
before
was
you
it?
finish, just
Yeah, go
before
ahead.
you finish your
Go
point,
ahead.
as I'll circle the whole reason
Sure.
why I brought that up actually, and then you can talk about Bean,
Yeah.
which I'm cool with. But that's what I was going to say. Is you said like it's not really always fair to like put blame on a quarterback for wins and losses or what have you. And
Absolutely not.
but to me, fair or not, wins are applied to quarterbacks more than they are to any other position. I'm not saying it's not right. It's not okay. Whoever sang that
Agreed.
song,
No,
but
I
that's
agree. I'm
that's
with
that's
you.
life. That's
I'm with
what it
you.
is. That's the world we live in, man. So I'm taking that and I'm going with it. But anyway, I'm sorry. Finish. What's that? What do you got?
Let me ask you this. Where do you think the Niners are if you replace Brock Purdy with Josh Allen?
I mean, when Rob Saleh was there, I mean, he's there now, but when Rob Saleh was there, when they were cooking, Super Bowl champions. Yeah. Because I think
Why?
because I think, for example, I mean, Josh Allen isn't the.
Dude, you put Josh
I don't
Allen at
have Josh Allen's passing numbers in front of me, like deep passing numbers, but
sure.
he would hit Emmanuel Sanders where Jimmy Garoppolo did not in
Yes.
2019.
Yes.
Just
He
to
was the number one quarterback in tight window passes last year.
yeah.
Like,
So
dude,
yeah,
and he's
which
6'7".
he'd be elite. Sorry, but
I'm just saying, man, like that's where it's like because me and you feel the same way about the Niners. I think definitely it's either the Rams or the Niners. I don't hate either pick to win that
yeah. No,
division, but
I was to be honest, even me being a diehard Niner fan, I was surprised when the division odds first came out and the Niners were favored. I didn't think that.
yeah, I thought it would be the Rams.
Yeah, me too. And that's me being an
Play the
honest
Eagles
49ers
tough.
fan.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, I think the Niners
especially
could
just
win
after
it,
that
but
Eagles game, that Eagles playoff game, man, you would really think that
sure.
the Rams would have got a little bit more steam.
Yep.
But no, I just think that's what I'm trying to get at with elite. Like, like I do think like I'm with you, Patrick Mahomes is elite, but Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are also elite, man. Like they are. And I do think they are going to win a Super Bowl one day. I think they are Super Bowl worthy
So
quarterbacks,
that's why you're calling them elite because you say one day they can win the Super Bowl.
No, I don't. Oh, exactly. But I
This is
also,
never. By the way, this is never a fun conversation when you're having it with me.
I know it's always fun. Talking
Pete
about ball
says
is always
Matt
fun with me.
Stafford is elite, and you know what?
Yes, he is.
That's probably the next closest guy that I'd say is elite. The guy is tough as nails. The guy
He is
plays
elite.
through everything.
He's the best quarterback in the NFC. I agree with Pete on that take. That's a win take. He is.
He leads his teams to wins. He's won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, he's the closest thing. This is gonna piss people off so much because it's just the Super Bowl win, the playoff win. Matthew Stafford is more elite than Josh Allen to me. On my level. I'm not talking about fantasy football perspective of look at the stats he puts up. Look at all these numbers. I'm having an NFL conversation right now. So the mediators, that's Matt. Matt says Jaden Daniels is the GOAT. That's very good. Off of 1 year, he is now the GOAT. God bless him. There you go.
No, Jaden Daniels is a beast, but if
He
I
is a
wanted
beast.
if I'm playing like, just one like this season, this upcoming season, I'd rather have Stafford.
Wait, what? Wait.
This year.
You rather
For
have Stafford
starting
over who?
franchise quarterback, win now mode. Would you rather
Stafford.
take Daniels or Stafford?
That's obnoxious. Shit.
Tough,
If it's
man.
1 year, I'd probably
Just
go
this year. I'm
Stafford.
not dynasty because then it's obviously Daniels.
Yeah,
Like, Jaden Daniels is a
no.
monster.
If it's this year, you're asking me, I'd probably go Stafford.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I love Stafford. When
I'm
he
with
got
you.
traded to the Rams, I was pissed because there were rumors that the Niners were going to go for him.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, because he's great, 1,000%. I don't mind admitting that. Yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, there you go. That's good. Good chat. Good time. Pete, maybe we
I
can clip something from that, buddy. If you're watching, you're commenting, you're critiquing.
Now it's just funny how they landed on Purdy.
Well,
Dude, it's
you
the
say
craziest story.
you say funny, I say lucky. I mean, they spent all that draft capital to get Trey Lance and decide they didn't want him, and then leave him at the altar. Yeah, that's luck. That saved jobs. Brock Purdy saved jobs out there in Santa Clara. So that's why that boy's paid.
Yeah.
But all right, you're coming up on a pick here. Walk me through your team after you make this pick because it's 20-second clock, so I don't want you to get jammed up. You're coming up right now.
Yeah, let me just
So
snag my boy.
make your
No, no.
pick and then talk about your team, and then it'll get over to me.
Yeah, so I went I like to go zero RB, so I'm gonna start sucking up some running backs in these later rounds. But the way the super flex is, you really try to, two quarterbacks at least. You want to try to get three. Again, I missed out on my QB3. I thought Daniel Jones is a good one, just the value and where he's going. But I'm Dak, Matt Stafford, my two starting running backs is Barkley and Travion Henderson, which is solid. I think Travion Henderson is very, very undervalued this year. And then my wide receivers are Drake London, Rashi Rice, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Josh Downs, Trey Harris. I think that I'm extremely high on those first five wide receivers. I think I'm kind of buying low. If you I actually reached on Josh Downs like 15 spots. Um, I think he's going to have a monster year, especially if it's any kind of PPR, half PPR, full point PPR. You look at his numbers last year, like with Flack, when he was with Flacco, if you stretch that out to a full season, he was like wide receiver 8, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
And then Trey Harris is, again, this is a more of a bolder take, but again, it happens all the time. I think Trey Harris will be one of the 1,000-yard rookie receivers this year. I think he is going to step into that X role in with the Chargers, and I think it's going to be similar to Keenan Allen and Mike. And damn, sorry, someone
Who the
keeps calling me.
hell's calling you? Tell them
Yeah,
to go away.
yeah,
Might be an emergency though.
yeah. No, I just shut. I had to put the do not disturb on.
Yeah.
But no, it's like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, man. Like I just think um you're gonna have that slot receiver, right? The guy working on the inside, and then you're gonna have that big outside guy, and I think that's how it's gonna work out. And then, yeah, my tight end room in, I'm really happy about this. I got Evan Engram and Tyler Warren. I think that gives me solid tight end numbers every week, and I don't really need to add on to that. I'm cool with two tight ends. Unless there's like, we're in one of the last picks and, there's a sleeper tight end I like, then why not? But yeah, that's my team so far, man. So now I'm just going to try to start adding juice to my RB room.
Very important. Kirker Bing wants to let you know they're trying to reach out to you about your car's extended warranty. That's why you get phone calls. I get it.
It was a toll-free number. That's the funniest
That's
part.
probably. I mean, he's probably. Maybe it was him calling. Who knows? But Pete said, "I am shifting away from Harris this year." Me and Coach, who of course is also on this lovely channel here, said dug into the Chargers numbers more. This team is going to pound the rock, which Ernie, I felt like you and I talked about on the show, and I had referenced when Harbaugh got to San Francisco. It was similar in terms of the draft, just offensive line, build it. And then you talked about the Chargers, Joe Alt, so on and so forth, building the offensive lines, pounding the rock. So, yeah.
No, yeah, man. I mean, that's the one thing. Like, I will pat myself. Like, who has been pounding that drum? I know my boys at Face Off could back me up here. I have been literally that phrase. Like, they are going to pound the football. Everybody is way too low on Omari and Hampton, man. I'm telling you. I am not afraid of Najee Harris. And if you analyze how that went down, Najee was signed. If you notice, this was before the NFL draft, right? 1 year
Obviously, yeah,
deal.
of course.
Okay. They paid him $10 million. Okay, sure. But
I like how you say 10 million. Well, yeah, sure.
no,
I get it though. Sports
I
terms, it's not a big number in terms of
I
sport.
have a theory that it was just because you never know how the draft's going to go, right?
Sure.
You also never know that it could be like, okay, they got the running back they wanted, and Hampton tears his ACL in camp.
Right.
Then they're screwed, right?
Yep.
So they have somebody that, maybe in the beginning they could help ease Hampton in. It will be a nice 1-2 punch, but I really think Najee's more of insurance. And dude, I loved watching UNC. I think Omarion Hampton is legit, man. Like I really do think he is. He reminds me a lot of Nick Chubb. I think they drafted after him in the first round. Chargers have an amazing offensive line, dude. I think they have. You can make an argument because the best tackle tandem in the league is definitely Mailata and Lane Johnson, without a doubt. Jordan Mailata is probably, you can make an argument he might be the best player in the NFL. Like, that's how good he is, but he's definitely the best
All right.
tackle.
Easy does it.
Dude, I'm a Giants fan. Jordan Mailata is
No, I'm not
respect
saying.
him.
I'm just when you said one of the best players in the NFL, I
Oh,
doubted
dude, he's up there. I think he was ranked. Somebody ranked him. I don't know if it was PFF. They might have ranked him third on their rankings. So I'm just saying, like he's up there. Like if you break it out,
sure.
Pound for pound. But no, man, they got Joe Alt and they got what was it, Roshan Slater? Like, dude, and they got Harborough. Like, like you're a Niners fan, man. We were talking about this the other day, like that mentality they're gonna bring in.
That's why I loved it when he got in, man. He was
Yeah.
tough. That's it. Build the offensive line. Let's effing go. Let's pound it. I
Yeah,
loved it.
but even
but
if
ironically enough, and it still fucking burns me that as much as we talked about pounding the rock, when we were in the Super Bowl, we threw a fade to a short Michael Crabtree in the end zone. I'm not bitter. I'm not upset. It's gonna be fine. I got to make another pick.
Dude, good coaches make mistakes, man. Pete Carroll did the same thing, dude.
Yeah, I made a mistake. God damn it. Whatever. All right, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna put myself together. I will just say we can get back to Hampton because Zach Linton has a comment. I'm just gonna update people on my team.
No, he's good, dude. They might I could see them splitting, but I'm telling you, just talent wise, like it's just gonna get to a point, man, where it's like, do you ever watch a committee before and you're just like, why are we still giving this guy the ball? Like, that's how much better Hampton is than Najee.
And Mediators said, by the way, easy on the best tackle too.
Ooh, well, dude, there's a lot. I just think Jordan Mailata, pound for pound, is probably the best tackle in the league right now. I would make
Sounds
that
like
argument.
You might have to have a conversation with the Mediators. That sounds
dude. You can make an argument like Joe Alt is now up there. I think Roshan Slater is up there. You can, dude. Lane Johnson is a beast. There's a lot of good. I love Trent Williams, but again, it's just like he might have fell off finally. But I think, dude, Trent Williams in his prime was definitely the best. Like without it, he was a monster, dude.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Ernie.
Yes.
I drafted a third quarterback. Gun to your head. Who is it?
If I had a guess, does his name start with Joe?
Mm-hmm. And it ends with Flacco. It just always happens. It's because I'm drafting other players, and then I finally go back to quarterback.
Dude, you two are meant to be, man.
Joe Flacco is, you know what Joe Flacco is to me in super flex best ball drafts? That's like when the bar is closing and you got to find the girl, and that's the last one sitting there.
Yep.
All right. I'm going home with this.
Because the value is there, because it's like we all know that, like, we watched him do it the last 2 years when he starts. Like, he puts up good numbers, like, yeah. And the only scary thing is like, how long does he start this year? I think what your like best case scenario is like he somehow starts winning, with the Browns start winning games. So they're like, we're gonna leave Joey Coolin, right? But I think worst case scenario is he starts and it's like more of like half of the season. And then they go to one because the season's done already, so they're going to see what the rookies have. Might also be an excuse to tank because very good quarterback class coming up. But yeah, man, I mean, I think you're going to be able to stream him for at least half of the year. But best case, you hope the Browns are competitive and they just leave him in.
Yeah. So my team so far, obviously Joe Flacco is my third quarterback, but it's Josh Allen, Geno Smith, Joe Flacco. Running backs, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, RJ Harvey, Tank Bigsby. Wide receivers, I'm always cooking a little bit. Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Juwan Jennings, Jordan Addison, who I liked a lot, taking there, best ball. Jacoby Myers, and then Hollywood Brown. Tight ends are solid too. I went with the AFC North. I took myself some Mark Andrews and some David Njoku. So feeling good about tight end there. I feel like I'm set there. I'll probably grab a third tight end for the hell of it at the end of the draft. But to me, I'm done with quarterbacks. So it's focusing on running backs, wide receivers. That's where I'm going at. Also, very important message for you, Ernie, sir. Pete just said, Ernie, I just got my free credit for the rabbit draft.
I got to get that, Pete. Let's do that.
You got to share your team in the Discord to get your free credit. So there you go.
I got to join it. I think I have to join the Fast Draft Discord first, and then we could do that together. Dude.
Get it done. Fast Draft, by the way, if anybody watching, Fast Draft, if it's available in your area, it's a fantastic way to draft. I did it. I'm unfortunately don't get to do it here in New York, but I was in New Jersey, so I was able to utilize the app. The app is clean, crisp. It's awesome. So definitely download Fast Draft. There is a promo code. I believe it's Nova.
Nova, capital, for our boy Pete.
For Peter. Yeah. I thought that was funny when I hung out.
You beat me to it, dude. I was gonna shout out his promo code. You beat me too. I wanted to be the good friend.
Pimp your promo code, Hoff. Do I have a promo code? I didn't think I had a promo code. If I have one, type in Hoff, see if it works. If it works, sick. If not, my bad.
Hoff's promo code is Strawberry Daiquiri. All caps.
Damn it. No, it's not.
No spaces.
Jesus Christ. Enough with the goddamn daiquiris. Who am I taking here? Let me get my shit together.
Joshua Palmer.
No, I mean that I was down with. I'm about to get all drafted right now.
So you think he wins like the X job in Buffalo?
I think he could, or I just think more so. Again, when I'm taking Josh Palmer, I'm comfortable taking him in a best ball because again, you have to remember best ball. You're relying on a player's best week. You're not. Yeah. It's not a redraft where you say, like, man, I'm up against a bye week, so
play him every
Josh
week.
Palmer out there.
I got you.
You know, it's just
so you're drafting him for spike weeks.
Just if he hits, he hits. You know, that's to me. At this point in his career, that's what a Josh Palmer is. And if he does hit, guess what? I've got Josh Allen. So
there you go.
So I'm doubling my pleasure, doubling my fun, doubling my gum. There you go.
Well, Keon Coleman isn't established yet, and they did pay Josh Palmer, you know. So I mean, we know Josh Palmer is solid.
Keon Coleman's going to pull better numbers than Josh Palmer, but I'm just saying there could be a week or two where all of a sudden Palmer just goes off. That's all.
I like Keon Coleman, but I'm just saying like he hasn't established himself. So we've seen weirder things happen.
You got to cook some dinner after this, right? What are you cooking? What are we doing?
Dude, I am. So I got a Korean barbecue. Yeah, absolutely. I got a Korean barbecue, marinated sirloin steak.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fantastic. I made some skirt steak the other day. It was Dude,
meanwhile, you're podcasting, and then your fiance is just sitting there like,
I hate it here.
Yeah, she's trapped in the room right now. I locked her in the dungeon like she's Harry Potter.
I hate it here.
Oh man,
it'll be fine.
So you went Palmer and Giddens. I
didn't want to take Giddens. You could talk to me about Giddens. I'm not thrilled with that pick. That's the one pick in my draft so far I'm not thrilled with, but I was up against it. 20-second clock, podcasting, so I took him. Do you have anything about Giddens?
Here's what I will say. If Taylor gets hurt, that's a great pick. Like he's definitely Jonathan Taylor's handcuff. So you could look at it like might not have been ideal. I've been there. It's not like you're taking Jalen Warren in the 12th round, but no, that he's definitely a handcuff man. So if Taylor was to, season-ending injury, then Giddens is basically a borderline league winner. I think he's solid, man. Again, like not special, but this was a very deep running back class, and a lot of good running backs um, went later than they should. Like,
Sure.
that's why like you saw McVay losing his mind over Hunter. Like, I think in normal year, a guy like Hunter could have went day 2. So yeah, man, like Giddens is a solid backup, man. You're gonna be hoping for an injury though. I don't think there's like he's gonna get that much playing time.
You are just about on the clock, and Pete is giving you a shout out for your ECW hat, which I don't know if I ever told you that, but yeah,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah,
impressive.
dude.
So
I appreciate that, Pete. My bro, I was a big wrestling fan growing up, man. WWE,
I still am.
ECW.
It's
Yeah,
I blame my mother.
Once they,
My mother watched soap operas as like back when I was a kid. So I blame her. I say pro wrestling is my soap opera. I can't quit it. I quit it for like from 2004 to 2009 ish or 8, and then I got right back into it.
I quit once they started trying to make CM Punk cool, and then once they brought in Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, that was it for me. I thought that was the end of WWE for me.
What kind of shit is I?
Bro, what? It's so disrespectful.
We have to have
Stone Cold, Triple H, John Cena, and then you go to a guy that like Kevin Owens is a slob and Logan Paul is a Disney whatever. Was he a YouTuber? I don't know why these people are in our face so much, but nah, I'm not into it anymore, man. I used to be. Dude, old school ECW was sick. Remember when they brought back?
Yes, I can't have this conversation with you right now when we're doing fantasy football. I can't because I'll get too heated.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding you. God damn it! Why would I be kidding you?
You gotta have fun, man. Just gotta have fun. It's fake wrestling.
That's what I'm saying.
USA.
Owens is good. He's got attitude. He's got pizzazz. Poor guy now. He's got a jammed up neck. Logan Paul, I'll tell you this. All right, here we go. Fine. You got me into it. Happy now? Logan Paul is the best athlete. He's the best celebrity athlete to ever come into WWE. That's it. He's the best. In terms of how quick he's gotten it, how good he is, how much he can put on a quality match, he is the best, quote-unquote, celebrity to ever enter a WWE ring. I don't care. Find me another.
You're making me sad right now.
I'm making myself sad, I guess, in a way. Brandon wants to know, what do you call an Italian hooker? There you go. There's your answer. A prostitute. There you go. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. That's very nice. And Zach Linton came in to say that Kevin Owens is a god.
Disagreed. He is a loser.
Jesus.
You guys deserve better than Kevin Owens. You go from like Goldberg and Triple H, all these badasses to Kevin Owens. Come on.
My respect meter for you is
shrunken. Don't do that. Come on.
And
don't do that. Yankees are up 1-0, by the way.
Pete comes in with a firecracker.
Donald Trump was better. Yes. Yes. See, dude, that's why Pete's my boy. Absolutely.
Yes, sure. Because I'm sure Pete meant every word of that. There you go. Pete lit a firecracker, threw it into the room, closed the door, and ran away. That's what he just did. Good job, Pete. Thank you.
That's what a good friend does. Come on, Hoff.
That's what Pete does best. That's it. Like the
Hoff, if I was really trying to upset you right now, I'd go into all the reasons why Jarquiz Hunter is going to replace Connor Williams.
No, you wouldn't piss me off. You'd just be wasting your time. That's all. You just be wasting your time,
man. I'm just kidding.
I know. Kyle Williams gonna be a top 12 running back. Slam dunk. Don't even worry about it.
I do like him as a potential dynasty sleeper, though, man. How could you not? You don't know.
That's fine because we don't know the contract is done yet.
Exactly. Like you don't know if the Rams are going to sign him.
we keep hearing for weeks and weeks, like, oh, the Kyron Williams contract looks good, looks good, looks good. We don't see it. And I do think, and I believe you and I talked about this on air, not specifically related to the contract, but the Kyron Williams fumbles.
Yes.
If they come out, say, week 1, 2, 3, 4, if Kyron starts fumbling and there's no contract, that's going to be a problem. At
100,
least, yeah, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be, what does Pete say here?
That's why when I brought it up though, you almost ripped off my head the other day when I was like, he fumbled in the playoff game versus and like that has to, like, I get what you're saying, like the production has been there, it's always been there, but still, man, like,
yeah,
you play the whole year to get to these moments, and it's definitely a lasting impression in McVay's head, and that's why they're there in the 4th round, man. And they did take the exciting rookie running back, because why not? What if Jarquez is Kyron but doesn't fumble, and they don't have to pay him? He's on a day 3 contract. So I just see the vision. Bo Nix and Portland Sutton will combine for more points.
That's coming in from Pete. So
I don't know. I like both. Like I'm big on.
Pete's drinking some strong IPAs tonight.
I personally I lean Herbert and Lad there, definitely, but I'm high on Bo Nix.
Mediator says he wants a pizza bet that with Pete. There you go.
I'm in on that.
Let's do it.
Mediator. I'm on the Herbert and Lad side, but dude, I love Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. I'm just afraid of it's not. I know Bo Nix is going to take the step, but it's like, do you trust Sutton? Because he's almost like, again, like kind of, he was dropping a lot of passes, man. He's getting older. They added Engram. Pat Bryant. I think Pat Bryant's legit. Again, 3rd round rookie, but there's a lot to like about him. So I could see him making an impact. But yeah, I'm going with Ladd because even if Trey Harris is the stud that I think he is, Ladd is still going to get the same volume or very close to what he was getting last year because he's the slot receiver. So it's the same thing. He played more outside last year because their wide receiver room sucks, but now he's just going to take over that slot role predominantly. And I like that connection. So I'm going to have to disagree with Pete there.
There you go. Well, Ernie, listen, you got a fiance locked in a room. You got a grill warming up.
No, dude, let's keep talking about bowl. Let's argue about wrestling. Let's lock her in there.
No. Let's work smart, not hard. Let's not put you in hot water, my good friend. Read off your lineup to me. Tell me what you think, how it turned out. Again, you were picking from the 8th spot, correct?
Yes, the 8th spot actually didn't turn out that bad. I still don't love it. I never love any of my teams, but
oh shit.
Yeah, I like getting the 3rd quarterback at super flex, but if you get 2, it's still doable. But I went 0 RB. So I went Dak and Stafford.
I'm sorry, just real quick. What was your positional number up top?
I went 2 quarterback, 5 running back, 10 wide receiver, 3 tight end.
10 wideouts. All right, let's do it. Let's hear it. Let's go.
I love it because I just think there's, for best ball, again, this is just me. I think there's more value in the wide receiver spike play. Like kind of like you said with Josh Palmer, you're going for those spike weeks. You're not starting these guys every week. It's the same thing.
Correct.
And I'll go into a couple of those guys and why I think that. But so I went Dak and Stafford. Again, I think those are probably 2 of the better quarterbacks in the NFC. I think they're both great fantasy quarterbacks. So I get 2 staples, and they do have bye week 10. They have different bye weeks, so I'm good. So running back, I went Barkley and Travion Henderson. If there was one thing I'd change, I'd probably go back and I'd take RJ Harvey over Travion Henderson. Just because, again, I love the Broncos this year. I do think Harvey's going to get a ton of volume. But Travion's a dog. Still don't hate that pick. I think Travion's going to get a lot of work too. Wouldn't be surprised if the production was similar. But I do slightly lean Harvey right now. And then I went Jalen Wright and Roshan Johnson. Those are 2 more of my those are my backup running backs. And I also got Jarquez Hunter. Jarquez is more of a similar to your Giddens pick. Like he's just a handcuff that I like, and I think there's potentially room for more. It depends on how much McVay likes him. If he comes in and he's starting to spell Kyron or steal some valuable touches, then that's awesome for bye weeks and stuff. But love Jalen Wright, love Roshan Johnson. I think Jalen Wright is taking over that monster role that we saw 2 years ago. I think Dolphins kind of were in a funk last year with the two injuries and all that stuff. So I think Wright will be the thunder to A-Chain's lightning. And then Roshan Johnson, man, I think it's going to be either him or Monangai, but one of those guys is going to be the pounder, the grinder to that two running back system that Ben Johnson uses. And my money's on Roshan. I'm a Rutgers guy, so I love Monangai, but Roshan, dude, I loved him coming out 2 years ago. I think there's a lot. He reminds me more of David Montgomery than Monangai. And then wide receiver, Drake London, Rashi Rice, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Josh Downs, Trey Harris, Dante Thornton, Jalen Noel, Roman Wilson, and Donnie Mitchell. I kind of talked about my receivers before. My first five: London, Rice, Ridley, Waddle, Downs. I think they all have wide receiver one upside.
There's another pizza bet.
I'll take that.
Ollie Gordon over Wright pizza bet.
I'll take that.
All right.
That's that's a respectable bet. I mean, I liked Ollie Gordon. I watch a lot of SEC ball. I'm telling you, man, Jalen Wright's a dog. I think he'll be, he's a post type sleeper. I think he's just one of those rookies where he's going to break out year 2 or 3. Dude, we know A-Chain's electric, but he is injury prone. He's not the biggest running back. And we saw that tandem. That's when Miami was at its best, when they were running the football, So I think they're going to try to get back to that, man. And I think that's why they traded up for Jalen Wright. So again, that's just, I think people are forgetting about him. And then Ollie Gordon is kind of like the new toy, you know what I mean? And there was a lot of hype about Ollie Gordon. He kind of had an off year, and then his value kind of plummeted. But I'll take that bet, respectable bet. My deeper receivers, Trey Harris. Again, I talked about him. But Dante Thornton, this is a guy on the Raiders I really like. They took him and Jack Beck pretty high. But right now, Thornton looks like he's winning that outside job. There's a lot to like about his profile. He's a 6'5" burner. Like, this is your deep threat. So again, man, even if he just becomes the Raiders deep threat and I get some big spike weeks from him, it's a win. But if he turns out to be their everyday X receiver starter, which again, he's probably on Jack Beck, but we've seen crazier things happen, and you get a starter with pick 185. I'll take that. And then I went Jalen Noel. I think Jalen Noel kind of takes over that Tank Dell role for the Texans. So I think there's some value there. Then Roman Wilson. That was one of my favorite receivers from the draft last year. So I'm not going to give up on him yet. They got Aaron Rodgers. Me and you agree on, Aaron Rodgers isn't dead. He's not MVP anymore, but he's still going to put up respectable numbers. And outside of DK Metcalf, they don't really have anything. So give me Roman Wilson running out of the slot with Rodgers. And then in Donnie Mitchell, again, that's just talent. Again, he's probably the 4th target there at best.
Is it Adonai or is it Adonai?
I have no idea.
Oh, I think it's Adonai.
I think you're probably right then. But yeah. Wrong. So I like that. I just said I think you're right. I was just I don't know how to pronounce his name. And then my tight end, I went Evan Engram, Tyler Warren, and then Arandi Gadsden. Evan Engram, I think that's my dark horse tight end 1. And then I also love Tyler Warren. I think Tyler Warren, I think he's going to be he's not going to replicate what Brock Bowers did, but I do think he's being undervalued similar to Brock Bowers. I don't think, everybody was afraid of Brock Bowers because of the quarterback situation. It was O'Connell and Minshew. Like, dude, I think Daniel Jones is better than both of those guys, and the Raiders, the Colts are a lot better set up offensively than the Raiders are. So I could see Warren getting a lot of.
You said what about Brock Bowers though?
What do you mean? Why nobody liked him last year? Why he was falling? Well, because the Raiders quarterback sucked.
I didn't. I mean, I was all over him, but whatever. That's just me though. Maybe I was in the minority, but I was all over him. Actually, God rest his soul, Anthony and I had a very big argument about Brock Bowers or Dallas Goedert. And I was like, dude, Brock Bowers going to blow him out of the water. And he was
Yeah, I
like,
would take
no
Brock
shot.
Bowers there. I would take Brock Bowers there.
Whatever. But, whatever. But take a sip. All right. All right, my team. Let's finish this. Let's get out of here. I took 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, which I don't like that I did that, but whatever, if that happened, that's a thing. Josh Allen, Geno Smith, and death, taxes, and me selecting Joe Flacco as my 3rd quarterback. That happened. Running backs, as always, I never feel great about them at the end of these drafts. Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, RJ Harvey, but then it's only Tank Bigsby and DJ Giddens. So not a lot of a safety net there at running back, but I'll go with it. Wide receivers, I feel better about. Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Jawan Jennings, Jordan Addison, Jacoby Myers, Hollywood Brown, Joshua Palmer, and Diami Brown. I will roll with all of those boys, especially Jordan Addison. I feel like he's due for a couple spike weeks. He was a wide receiver who was up there with games with 20 points. So again, the tight ends I said I selected 4, probably didn't need to, but I can always count on a good week from one of these guys. Mark Andrews, David Njoku, Jawan Johnson, who I feel like is going to be heavily used, and then Cole Kmet, who I think is just a sprinkle here and there. I think all year it's going to be a little bit of him. It's going to be a little bit of the rookie, and away we go. So that is my team. That is Ernie's team. I think that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, or if you didn't, actually, screw it. I'll do that. Hit the like and subscribe button. Helps us out immensely. Ernie, do you have anything to say before you unlock your fiance from the locked room and start cooking dinner?
Had a blast as always, Hoffman. Can't wait for next time, brother. You enjoy that Coors Light and take it easy, dude. Kevin Owens is a loser. It's okay. We can.
Shit, man. Fucking hell. I thought the
By the way, the Mets are getting killed by the Pirates.
Yeah, I know, but Juan Soto hit a home run. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. But all right, that'll do it. I'll tell you guys until next time. Stay thirsty. Be kind to one another. We're gonna catch you guys on the flip side. And cheers.